Hello and welcome to today's Western Cinema presents debatable Western crime drama, No Country for Old Men. This film was the Coen Brothers, Ethan and Joe Coen, uh, was won Best Picture for the year of 2006, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Xavier Bolden, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson, Kelly McDonald, and Gerard Dilhan, I think. This is, I can't pronounce it.
Garrett Dilham. Yeah.
So,
Got a small part in this.
yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, Again, we do this live watch along. As much as we'd love to show these to you guys here on the YouTube, this one is copyrighted and by the studio and the makers of the film, and we cannot show those to you here because we're no major network. And no, so we can't show as much as we like to. We can't, just can't. That would violate YouTube policies. So we do hope you can find your own copy at home and watch along. If not, we do provide a link where you can watch along with us. Anything you'd like to say? Deleted scenes.
Well, of course, this was based on the novel by Cormac McCarthy, a classic novel, Pulitzer Prize winner. Not the most accessible novel of all time to bring to the screen, to say the least. And I'm going to be talking about that when we get to that portion of the film. But it's a good one. But it's I don't want to say it's not for everybody because I don't want to turn anybody off to the movie. Just see it for yourself. If it's a first time watch for you, see for yourself. Those of you who have seen it, who are following along with us, know that what a classic this is, and let's check it out.
Okay. Well, if you follow us over to the screening room, highlight where is it? Right here. Follow us to this link, and you can watch along with us. All right, so we got the screening room loaded up. Let me. We'll go 5 second countdown. In 5, 4, 3, 2, go. This actor here,
Yeah.
he plays a pretty good psycho.
No.
Oh. Hello, lady miss. LDG's in the house. And hello, the view with Drew. Good to see you. Timestamp is 6:27.
And of course, this is Josh Brolin as Llewellyn Moss. And this is the part where he comes up on the drug deal gone wrong.
That is either heroin or cocaine.
Hmm.
You know, the first time I saw this movie, I didn't like it at all. This movie grew
Yeah,
on me over time.
it's it is inaccessible a bit. It does kind of keep you at arm's length. Um, I gotta tell you honestly, I didn't know where I was on it the first time I saw it either, and I had read the book
Yeah.
prior to watching the film. I still wasn't sure where I was on it. Um,
Now, if you guys have watched the movie Fargo, which is another Coen's Brothers, that is the
mhm.
same bag that gets buried in the snow.
Hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Money.
Yeah, heat stack, $10,000. About $2 million in there.
And thank you, Lady V. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
It's funny that she shrugged. He's telling her the truth that he
Yeah,
funny, and
he's
she
not
kind of shrugged that off,
lying.
like that'll be the day. Hello, Lady V.
Where's Lady V? Take care. And problem.
Yeah,
My hat. Of that the light background. I don't know
yeah.
if that was CGI or a happy accident or not, but pretty well done. All right.
This is a bold dog.
Yeah.
Chases him right into the river. That pit bull is on the hunt.
Bye, doggy.
Mm. I can't in that moment. I can't say I blame him. that
No,
that dog was going to his throat.
it had to be done.
Again, pit bulls are not a bad breed. They're only made bad
No.
by humans.
And of course, here's the
It,
famous coin flip scene
yeah,
that everybody remembers. And you kind of begin to see just exactly how crazy Shigor is, because this is, dude, he's just making conversation with you.
I know.
You don't have
Yeah,
to, know, he probably hasn't talked to anybody all day. He just, yeah, that's how it is.
that's good, Lady V. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Take care, Lady V.
Yeah, take care.
Everything. Between everything, calling. Hmm. She does a pretty good accent here because she's actually Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm not going to lie. That's the part I don't get. Why are you killing all the guys that are supposed to be helping you?
He doesn't like being seen or known.
That's one thing, I guess. Back to the Bell homestead. Tess Harper. And Shigor has burned up the car he was using. And of course, you'll recognize Garrett Dillahunt from Fear the Walking Dead, among many other television and films, playing Bell's deputy.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mess. The mess is here.
I got a timestamp of 32:50.
And that's a shot they've repeated in Fargo and Raising Arizona. Hmm.
What a, can with the most polls. Josh Brolin's character was, I thought, is pretty smart for most of the film. You know, transmitter saying, "You're on fire! You're on fire!"
Mhm.
Interesting fact about our psycho sugar:
Mhm.
he doesn't like to get blood on his clothes. Yep, troubles come.
So close and yet so far.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm. Of course, Woody Harrelson as Carson Wells, and Stephen Root is the guy who seems to be the head boss man of this this bunch. Would that be the 13th floor? A number of buildings don't have a 13th floor.
Yeah.
Kitty. No, you see, it's easy. Just do this. Listen, you got money. Go to a store, buy an Infinity Gauntlet.
Should have done this the first time. Check for the transmitter.
Oh, look out.
Oh,
Aw. Never mind.
It's a hell of a shot.
Here he comes, walking down the street. Curious looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're assassins. Oh, sorry. Move along. Nothing to see here. No problem at all.
The dude just paid $500 for a jacket. Give him the beer. No, he's not Eisenberg.
And this is the a good case of the two methodologies here at work.
You can tell this is taking place in the 80s.
Mhm.
Cars. They did a really good job with the cars and the clothing that people wear. Make it look like the 80s. Bladicane. Notice, delete. Did you know there's a sign on this wall that says "Support your local sheriff"? He's driving on a flatbed with these dead bodies, and his load ain't secured. I can see why the sheriff's upset. You're gonna have bodies all over the highway.
Mhm. Hmm. But he doesn't do deals. Hmm. I don't know.
He sees the bag of money right there, and he does. Don't know why he does nothing. Sitting right there.
Yeah. Would it have mattered at this point?
Yeah.
Or you can just wait the 20 minutes and let them get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Thank you, Lady Mist. But I'm affable, and I don't die, which is something of a surprise. But
Your woman always knows. Be all right. I got the cancer.
this Barry prequel is weird. And then I was on this bus that was going to blow up if it went below 50. Only here's the weird thing, right? Bastard blew up the stairs right when I was on them, pulled me right under the wheels. I tell you what, I have had this problem here with my leg ever since, you know. And this one time at band camp, wait, that wasn't me. Sorry, I take that back. And this actress was not actually this old at the time either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Damn it, Ed. Stay on task.
Um, did he slaughter a lot of poultry? I was wondering. Um, Tonight on the menu is chicken, chicken, chicken.
Mm. Now, I got to tell you, when I saw the movie the first time,
Mm-hmm.
this is where it started to lose me a bit. Got the woman with the beer's dead. Got this poor bastard here trying to crawl away, one of the Mexicans. So Llewellyn got a shot off.
Yep. And even see him get killed.
Yeah. So we've got the character that we've basically been following through the entirety of the movie, who gets killed off screen.
Yep.
And not only gets killed off screen, but as the next 20 minutes of the movie is going to show you, the movie isn't even really about him. If the movie is about anybody, it's about the sheriff.
Mm-hmm. Who has the least screen time?
Least amount of screen time out of the main characters. Yeah.
I found when Llewellyn Ellen got shot, I was just shocked by that. Like, what? 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 He's dead?
And this is, and the whole rest of this movie, I like better the older I get.
Yeah.
Because I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
And I didn't then. I get it now.
Next year, this film has its 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
So I guess technically we're at 19 years.
So Ed Tom goes back to the scene of this particular crime. Mm-hmm.
Here's what I the Western aspect. You have the villain against the sheriff here, right?
Right. Yeah. And the Mexicans have the money because no, I guess Shigar has it. I don't know. Who has the fucking money? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess Shigar has it. All right, because that's the thing. Everybody's running around getting killed over this satchel of money. Movie's not about the money. You want to know what the movie is really about? This is the scene that explains it.
Yep. Every week. It's about a week. A couple days, maybe.
Now, see here, I'm dead, and I didn't get that prednisone. Now I got nobody here to talk to. Kind of bored here. Why'd you bury me here? You do remember the Mexicans, right? Of course he doesn't.
Oh, look, he checks his boots.
Yeah.
Did I get
And that's
blood
how
at
you
him?
know.
Yeah.
Mhm. A movie that does not talk down to its audience.
And there's no music, no
Nope.
score.
No, none. Really.
They used instead of score, they used like meditation bowls. They would ding on it, and they had the sounds. I don't know if you heard them. They were there.
Well, the sound design's the score, really, more than anything.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
You still got your damn shirt. You got $100 for that shirt. In the '80s, that was a shitload of money.
Yeah. All right, folks, that was No Country for Old Men. A movie that comes to a somewhat of an abrupt end. I remember
Yeah.
when I first saw this in theaters, there was a guy who went, "What?" You know, and I had to admit, at the time, I didn't get it either. Um, I watched the movie again. I went back and watched that third act again. I read the book again. because I wanted to be sure I got it. I mean, I watched this movie now, and I completely get it. You know, I feel a certain kinship with Tommy Lee Jones' character in this, because his view of the world at the end of the movie is very much where I am right now. So it's almost like, come on in. You get a look inside.
You're welcome, Lady Mist.
Yeah. This show is all Bill's idea. I'm just along for the ride. And so yeah. All right. We shall consult the scrolls. And of course, by scrolls, I mean IMDb Pro. All right. No Country for Old Men's release date was November 21st, 2007. An approximate budget of $25 million, and went on to gross $172 million. And of course, it pretty much cleaned up at all the award shows that year. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, winning Best Picture, Best Director for the Coen Brothers, Best Adapted Screenplay, also for the Coen Brothers. They were also nominated for film editing. Now, all of their movies say edited by Roderick James. There is no Roderick James.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Coen Brothers. They also edit all their own movies. Javier Bardem, who of course played Anton Chigurh, he won supporting actor. And the other nominations were cinematography for Roger Deakins, sound editing, and sound mixing. And thank you, Stark of Iron. Good to see you, sir. All right. Let me move on to the there were 11 filming locations. Most of them in and around Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and Las Vegas. Also, Piedras Negras, Coahuila in Mexico, and Marfa, Texas. Now, if Marfa, Texas sounds familiar, they also filmed much of There Will Be Blood in some of the same locations.
Which I think will be again, that's another debatable Western. So I don't know whether we could play that during a Western cinema or an action theater.
Well, I wouldn't consider it an action film, really, either.
Yeah.
All right. On IMDb Pro, there are 99 trivia entries. Obviously, that would take up an entire show just reading off all of that, so I will be very selective. All right. Heath Ledger had been in talks to play Llewellyn Moss, but he withdrew to, and I quote, take some time off instead. Ledger would eventually portray a Chigurh-like sociopathic role as the Joker, and The Dark Knight in 2008. His posthumous Oscar win for that film would succeed Javier Bardem's turn as Anton Chigurh for Best Supporting Actor, which was, of course, the previous year. Okay. The title is part of the first line from William Butler Yeats's poem Sailing to Byzantium. The full line is, "That is no country for old men." The poem is about an old man, as he nears death, he wonders what it might be like in the afterlife. This theme is somewhat explored by the world-weary Sheriff Bell, who ponders what his life would be like after he leaves his life as a lawman. The film was shot mostly in the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Las Vegas, Nevada. Tommy Lee Jones convinced directors Joel Coen and Ethan Coen to film some scenes on location in West Texas. Directors Joel Coen and Ethan Coen used a photo of a brothel patron taken in 1979 as a model for Anton Chigurh's hairstyle. When he first saw his new haircut, Javier Bardem said, "Oh no, now I won't get laid for the next 2 months." The Coens responded by happily high-fiving each other. Bardem's response meant Chigurh would look as creepy as they had hoped. Anton Chigurh's weapon is a captive bolt pistol. It is commonly used to stun cows before slaughter without risk of flying bullets. The score music is used quite sparsely throughout the film, blending elusively into the background. Some can be heard during Ed Tom Bell's opening narration, during Anton Chigurh's quarter speech, and when Bell shows up at the aftermath of the motel shootout towards the end of the film and the closing credits. The credited editor for this film, Roderick Janes, is a pseudonym for Joel Coen and Ethan Coen, who have co-edited, co-directed, and co-written all of their movies since Blood Simple, up until Macbeth, because I think only Joel Coen did Macbeth, but hold me to that. New York Magazine reported that they devised a pseudonym when guild membership rules would not allow two co-credited editors on the same film. James was nominated for an Oscar editing Fargo and this movie, but he's never won one. Coen told New York Magazine that if James had won the Oscar, the Academy would have required the award presenter to accept the award on his behalf, since they have not allowed proxies or third parties to accept Oscars ever since the Marlon Brando Sachin Littlefeather incident. All right. In the novel, Sheriff Bell says of the dope dealers, "Here a while back in San Antonio, they shot and killed a federal judge." Cormac McCarthy set the story in 1980. In 1979, federal judge John Howland Wood was shot and killed in San Antonio by a Texas freelance contract killer named Charles Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's father. Yep. True story, folks. That's how Woody knows how to play crazy so well. When directors Joel Coen and Ethan Coen approached Javier Bardem about playing Chigurh, he said, "I don't drive, I speak bad English, and I hate violence." The Coens responded, "That's why we called you." Bardem said he took the role because it was his dream to be in a Coen Brothers film. This is the second film in history to share the Academy Award for Best Director between two directors. The first was between Jerome Robbins and Robert Wise for West Side Story. The reason why this is so rare is because the Academy normally has strict rules against nominating more than one person per film's director, in order to prevent actors and producers prevent actors and producers from claiming directorial credits. The Academy can make an exception when the co-directors are an established duo. Javier Bardem's victory at the 80th Academy Awards made him the first Spanish actor to win an Oscar. Bardem was also the first Spanish actor to be nominated for an Oscar with Before Night Falls. Llewellyn's shotgun is a Winchester Model 1897 with the barrel sawed down and filed. The shoulder butt sawed off and the handle taped around. One of the first successful pump actions. The only firearm that Sheriff Bell uses during the film is a Colt M1911A1 .45 caliber ECP semi-automatic pistol. Anton Chigurh and Llewellyn Moss are seen dressing injuries a total of 5 times in the movie. 5 is also the number of locks that Chigurh breaks in the movie. A nail gun was used for the sound effect of Chigurh's cattle gun. When Moss is lying hurt on the ground after crossing the Mexican border, a mariachi group starts singing to him. What they say in English is, "You wanted to fly without wings. You wanted to touch the sky. You wanted too much wealth. You wanted to play with fire." Josh Brolin broke his shoulder in a motorcycle accident 2 days after getting to part in this film. In an interview with Now Magazine, he recalled thinking, and I quote, "Fucking shit. I really wanted to work with the Coens," as he flew over the car that hit him. His injury, however, turned out to be a non-issue, since his character is shot in the shoulder very early in the film. Contrary to their usual process, directors Joel Coen and Ethan Coen did not write the script with actors in mind for the characters. Stephen Root ended up being the only actor in the cast with whom the Coens had previously worked with. This film was voted the second best film of 2008 by Empire Magazine, narrowly missing the top spot to The Dark Knight. Garrett Dillahunt auditioned 5 times for the role of Llewellyn Moss before ending up with the role of Wendell. Yeah, he would have made a good Moss, actually. Yeah. Josh Brolin was working on Grindhouse when he became drawn to the role of Moss in this film. He asked director Robert Rodriguez if he could borrow a video camera for his audition tape, and he ended up having his audition elaborately shot with the theatrical camera they were using. Directed by Quentin Tarantino, and with Marley Shelton as Carla Jean. She actually would have made a decent Carla Jean, to be honest. When the Coens saw Brolin's tape, their response was that they loved the lighting. That's actually a common thing. Directors don't really like it when actors make audition tapes like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember a story that Val Kilmer had done something similar for The Doors. You know, where he made a tape where it was him singing as Morrison, and actually Oliver Stone didn't like it when he cast him at the beginning, but he brought him back in later, and he got the part. All right, let me move up here. Tess Harper wore the same boots in this film that she wore in Tender Mercies. She did this because she felt that Loretta would have been an older version of Rosalie, which was her character in Tender Mercies. Yeah, I can see that. This was the first Oscar-winning film to be edited using Final Cut Pro. This was the second. Yeah, go ahead.
Must have been something new back then.
something new then. Yeah. This was the second Best Picture Academy Award winner to be produced, directed, written, and edited by the same person. The first was James Cameron for Titanic. Mark Strong auditioned for the role of Anton Chigurh and got one of the last two spots. Composer Carter Burwell's score consists of only 16 minutes of music. In Men in Black 3, Josh Brolin plays a younger character of Tommy Lee Jones' character, Agent K. Garrett Dillahunt appeared in The Road, which was also based on a book by Cormac McCarthy. The film is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die, edited by Steven Snyder. Until the release of The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which it's another movie we should consider doing here on the show.
Yeah.
This was the Coen Brothers movie with the longest runtime, 2 hours and 2 minutes, as well as the only Coen Brothers movie to exceed 2 hours in length. In Fargo, another film directed by the Coen Brothers, about $1 million in a leather case gets buried in a snowbank, apparently never to be found. Not true, unless you count the series. I'll get to that in a second. Apparently never to be found. In No Country for Old Men, about $2 million in a leather case is sought. In both movies, the leather case used is the type usually used by airplane pilots to carry their charts and maps. Okay, now here's something interesting. And whether or not you choose to consider this canon is up to you. Now, in Fargo, in the film, like the trivia blurb says, the money's never recovered. During the film, in the series, we find out that money actually did get found. There's a character who's played by Oliver Platt. This is in season 1 of the series. He randomly finds the money, hangs on to it, of course, and he kind of builds his business off of the money. And he goes on to become very rich. And then the events of the first season of the series happen. And hello to CLS. And all of this kind of bad luck begins to befall him throughout the course of the season. And he comes to the conclusion that it was because he took the money that's causing all of the bad luck. It was not mine. I should have left it where it was. Therefore, all of this shit is now coming back at me. So that's, if you choose to consider the television show canon to the film, that's kind of what happens to the money. All right, let me scroll through and do a couple of more real quick here.
Yep.
Like the book, the film is set in 1980. Several weapons seen in the movie would not have been present at that time frame. Jones' Colt government model Enhanced Series 80 was first made in the early 1990s. The Glock 9mm Bardem picks up in the desert to kill his two competitors had not been invented yet. CLS says the movie is a 7 out of 10 for me, to be honest. I got to tell you, when I first saw the movie, that would have been my opinion on it as well. But like I said during the course of the movie, this is when it's grown on me through the years, and I like it even better now than I ever really have before. All right. Ellis, played by Barry Corbin, tells Sheriff Bell about how their Uncle Mac was gunned down on his own porch over in Hudspeth County in 1909. Hudspeth County was not formed until 1917, split from El Paso County and named after a senator. But this is not necessarily a mistake by the writers. Ellis can simply be referring to the present locale of the scene of the crime.
Oh.
This film is in the official top 250 narrative feature films on Letterboxd. In the book, Llewellyn and Carla Jean are 36 and 19, respectively, having been married for 13 years. And before you go back and do the math, at that point in time, especially, a woman getting married at 16, not outside of the norm.
No.
My mother was actually 16 when she met my dad. They didn't get married until years later, but that's a long story I'll go into some other time, maybe. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go on here a little bit. Do a couple more. Javier Bardem has joked that his two best well-known films involve him having the worst haircuts ever. The other film being Skyfall. Yeah. The credits include an attribution for the one right tool, a reference to one of Chigurh's apparent reasons for turning on his employer. Right above it is a credit for serious matters, i.e. lawyer and stuff. So there's funny stuff in the credits, folks. Go look for it. All right. I'll do a couple more here real quick. The same gas station where Javier Bardem's character flips the coin and tells the gas station attendant to call it was also the one used in Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn from 1984. In that scene, Jennifer Grey's character sabotages Soviet soldiers with a bomb placed in a basket of food taken by the soldiers. In the ensuing chase through the field just south of the gas station, Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, and C. Thomas Howell ambush the pursuing Soviet soldiers. So if that location looked familiar to you, yep, there you go. And hello, Connie.
Hello, Connie.
All right. The character Anton Chigurh was voted the most realistic psychopath in cinema history by a team of forensic psychiatrists led by Dr. Samuel Lystead. The team spent years watching over 400 films to diagnose the top psychopath. Including to Lystead, Chigurh is a merciless killer who feels absolutely no remorse for blowing his victims apart with a shotgun. He's very determined, has no empathy for his victims, and is incapable of emotion like love or shame. Despite Anton Chigurh being described in the novel by the central character Carson Wells and other characters as, quote, both a peculiar man and a psychopathic killer, In his 30s, with exotic-looking features such as a dark tan complexion, with eyes as blue as lapis, at the once glistening and totally opaque, like wet stones. Javier Bardem's portrayal is still a peculiar and psychopathic Spanish-American male in his 30s, but has been uniquely redepicted into having a 1960s-style dark brown bowl cut, a light tan complexion, and dark brown eyes that show both lack of sleep and barely any emotions. Stephen Root and Caleb Landry Jones are both in the film Get Out. I think Caleb Landry Jones is one of the kids at the end. He would have to be quite young at this point in time. I thought that one kid looked familiar. Okay. All right. After he blows up the car, Anton Chigurh enters the Mike Zoss pharmacy. This is a reference to Mike Zoss Drugs, a Minneapolis pharmacy where the Coen brothers spent time in their youth. The Coen brothers also named their production company Mike Zoss Productions. Carla Jean is the only character to talk to all three main characters. All right. This is a bit of a long one, but it's very informative, and I'm going to end with it.
Okay.
While what is seen in the movie is virtually verbatim the book, there are many scenes in the book that were not in the script in movie. Some of the more major scenes include Chigurh staying at the motel for 5 days after being shot and leaving when the sheriffs arrived at the place. Mexicans arriving during the scene where Chigurh and Moss face off in the streets, all of whom Chigurh kills. Wells finding an old woman in an apartment killed from a stray bullet from the showdown between Chigurh, Moss, and the Mexicans. Sheriff Bell finding the owner of the motel where Chigurh found Moss dead with a hole in his head from Chigurh's cattle gun. An entire subplot where Moss picks up a hitchhiker on his way to El Paso after he retrieves the money, whom he befriends and gets to know before he's killed by the Mexicans. Chigurh entering the motel room in which Moss was killed to retrieve the stolen money. Chigurh returning the stolen money to its original owner and beginning a working relationship with the owner. Chigurh sneaking into Carly Jean's grandmother's house when they are not there and sleeping there overnight. Sheriff Bell interrogating the boys who made contact with Chigurh after Chigurh's car accident, and the rest of the encounter with Carly Jean and Chigurh, where Carly Jean incorrectly guesses the side of Chigurh's coin. She guesses tails, and is shot by Chigurh after he explains to her why his killing her is out of his control. The book also explains, by Chigurh himself during a conversation, why Chigurh was arrested at the beginning of the book, which is also the first scene of the movie. The only major scenes added to the movie were the scene with the mariachi band, the last half of the scene where Chigurh kills the man who hired Wells when he first encounters the accountant, until the that depends, do you see me? And the scene with the chicken farmer. The scene where Moss talks to a woman by a swimming pool was not in the book, but was an alternate scene rather than an added scene. It takes the place of a scene in the book where Moss talks to the girl who hitchhikes with him on the road to El Paso. Two other important alternate scenes were Bell finding and identifying Moss's body in a morgue, rather than the crime scene as in the movie, and Bell traveling to Carly Jean's house to tell her of Moss's death there, rather than encountering her at the crime scene. Also, even though virtually all of the dialogue in the movie is verbatim the book, many, if not all of the conversations between the characters in the book were heavily condensed for the movie. Oh, and here's a quick one that I'm going to bring up because we brought it up while watching a movie. Bear with me a second. Carson Wells mentions to the man who hired him that one floor in the building seems to be missing. This may refer to the fact that most buildings do not have a 13th floor, which many consider an unlucky number. Building owners often rename the floor 14 or give the floor some other use and rename it with a letter. The novel implies that the floor in question, the 17th, is not listed in the building's directory for security purposes and is thus missing. It is possible they use this missing floor to process their drugs. All right. And that is it from IMDb Pro. If you want to see what other bits of trivia I did not bring up, you can go there and check it out.
Groovy. Thank you.
Indeed.
Sorry, I'm changing.
Oh, that's okay. I want to go ahead and take this. Right. I want to go ahead and take this moment to remind everyone that, of course, due to copyright constraints, we could not show this movie to you live. If you were watching live, you would have had to follow along with us on Cosme or with your own physical copy. I thought I had one. I couldn't find it, so I was actually following along on Paramount Plus, where you can see this movie for free without ads. So if you have access to Paramount Plus, which you can get through your Amazon bundle, if you go back and watch this broadcast, you can watch it that way.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah.
All right. I think next week we'll dive into the Django spaghetti westerns called Man Called Django.
Yes. Franco Nero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be doing a play-by-play commentary for the Super Bowl if any of you guys are interested. If not, I understand. Football's not for everybody. Sports, especially a 3-hour game, it ain't for everybody. So that's what I got going on for the rest of the night. What you got going on, Deleted?
All right. Well, I at 8 p.m. will be my show, Unscripted. Episode 51, The Girl from Outeron. And I'm going to be going into the whole Gina Carano Disney lawsuit and my opinions on that and kind of cancel culture in general, really. Unscripted is the pregame show, so to speak, to Geeky Geezers over on Aged Boomers channel. He and Troy Pacelli will be discussing the events of the week in entertainment and pop culture. Also, stay tuned for my show, The Other Side of Midnight. That'll be at 12:05 Eastern, 11:05 Central. It's going to be open mic, open topic. I'm going to be sending out the link, and whoever wants to jump in can do so. So
Cool.
stay tuned. Then, of course, Tuesday will be my show live from Sparkwood in 21. That'll be at 8:30. Troy and Boomer and Netters Network will be joining me as we watch episode 7 of season 2 of Twin Peaks. And this is the episode we've been waiting for. This is the episode where the killer gets revealed. So stay tuned for that. And of course, Thursday, Action Theater, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. And we're going to be watching Firefox from 1982, starring Clint Eastwood.
Yep, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lady Miss, for putting that out there for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I may or may not have a co-host or a few co-hosts. I don't know. I had some interested, but I don't know if I can get a hold of them. Mm-hmm. Hey, LDG.
Thank you, LDG, welcome, and thank you, CLS.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and let's go ahead and thank the chat. Of course, Lady Mist, CLS, LDG, Connie Cleary, Stark of Iron, Lady V Elements, The View with Drew, and of course, anyone who might have been lurking in the background. There's always one or two. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to engage with the chat. Just as long as you enjoyed the show, please leave a like on both channels, share out the stream, and if you are new to Bill's channel or mine, please feel free to subscribe, and you will get more watch parties like this, along with all of our other content.
Let me tell you the idea behind these watch parties is this because, I would want to own my own theater, and what do I pay with my theater? Well, Western movies is one, and action films is the other. So that's how this got started. And as much as I would love to show them, I just can't break the rules of YouTube and risk my financial stability. We're getting sued with the copyright. So,
so before anybody goes into the comments and say that this show is clickbait or hey, shut up and put on the movie or something, we would love to, and at times we have. Unfortunately, we can show public domain movies as we did with the Oxbow incident a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
And we would like to have put this on live for you to see. Unfortunately, it's copyright, and we don't want the Coen Brothers writing us strongly worded letters going, hey, what the hell,
Yeah.
we don't want them to send we don't want them to send old Anton Chigurh there after us, so yeah. YouTube
Indeed.
is strict, so understandable. Yeah.
Wow. Until later, be excellent to each other, party on, and be kind. So, all right.
And from HQ and our second home office in Arizona, catch us right back here next week. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win. Good night.
Later, folks.